Good morning. I'm Diane Rich. I'm a longtime member of this congregation. And I welcome you this morning to rise in body and or spirit as you are able and join in singing our opening hymn, Be That Guide. It's number 124 in your gray hymnal. And any choir members who would like to come forward to sing, please do so.
Good morning, everyone. Good morning and Happy New Year. Welcome to UU Wellesley Hills. I am the Reverend Mark Roble, the senior minister here. And yet another one, another stall from my family for Christmas. So welcome here to UU Wellesley Hills. We are open and affirming, which means that for us, how you dress, what you look like, whom you love, if you're gay or straight or bi or trans, if you're a Christian or a Jew or a Hindu or an atheist, none of that matters to us. What matters to us is that we join together in community every Sunday here to love and support each other. That is what is important to us. That is what is important in our world right now. So whoever you are, however you name or know the holy in your life, you are welcome here. So welcome to UU Wellesley Hills, where? Good. We are joyfully called to worship this morning. Now, as we do every Sunday, first let's turn to our camera and wave to our folks in our online pews and welcome them. And now let's turn to each other and offer each other peace and goodwill. Everyone's very festive this morning. So I just have a couple of announcements. Our Black Lives Matter vigil is today at 12 o'clock out on Washington Street, so please join us. The Men's Breakfast Club tomorrow, 8:30 at Maugus. So join us for some great conversation and a lot of fun. The last thing is the New World Opera is putting on Seussical, the musical. It's a kids' musical next Saturday at 2 p.m. and 7:30 p.m. It's free, and so join us. If you want to sort of check out what they're doing and who they are, come to one of the shows next Saturday.
And now, as we deepen into worship, I'd like to invite Reed up to light our chalice. The flaming chalice is not only a shining symbol of our Unitarian Universalist commitment to religious pluralism and humanitarian principles, but also a much-needed light shining in our world. We light it on our altar each Sunday and anytime we gather in community. If you are watching from home and have a chalice on hand, you may want to light yours now. The words for our chalice lighting are spoken in unison. You'll find the words printed in your order of service or appearing on your screen. Please join me in saying them as Reed lights our chalice this morning. We light this chalice to illuminate our faithful way forward as an inspirational community of hope. Together, we seek spiritual growth. We strive for just and responsible action. We dedicate ourselves to leading lives of compassion and purpose.
Now it's that time for the story for all ages, so I'd like to invite anyone who would like to come up. Young at heart, come on up and sit on the steps for the story. Come on, Barbara. Anyone else like to? Poor Barbara, she's going to be so lonely up here by herself. All right, come on, yay. So today's story is titled, The Dog and His Bone. It's a wisdom tale. So a dog is walking down the street, prancing around, and he sees a big bone in the trash. A bone, yippee, yippee, how lucky for me. He grabs the bone and he runs home. He runs past the train station, the schools, he runs through the park, and he runs onto a bridge. On the bridge, the dog looks down at the deep water and thinks, what's that dog doing down there? There's another dog with a bone down there. I want that bone. It's bigger than my bone. So he barks, woof, and the dog barks back, woof. What a big bone, that dog says. I want it. The dog growls, "Rrr," and the dog in the water growls back, "Rrr." The greedy dog decides to steal the other dog's bone. He leaps off the bridge and into the water, splash! But soon as the water clears, the dog disappears. There was never a dog. It was his own reflection in the water that he was looking at. The water is very deep, and this dog is really surprised. Woof, 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 help, he barks. And when he opens his mouth, he drops the bone, and it sinks to the bottom of the river. So he swims to shore, he's wet and he's cold, and he has no bone at all. So this is a good story to reflect upon how so often we look at other people or we look at other things that we think are better than what we have or more than what we have, without realizing that Our own bone is what belongs to us, and our own bone is what's really important. The end. After Reed lit the chalice, I wanted to light an additional candle of peace this morning for the people of Venezuela. May they find peace and democracy on their terms and not ours.
Good morning. Each Sunday, as you know, this congregation collects a weekly offering as part of its larger spiritual practice of generosity. Our monthly plate collection theme for January is racial justice, and today's collection will benefit Thrive Scholars. Now, although our nation is becoming more racially diverse, leadership across nearly every profession remains overwhelmingly white. Closing this gap is not only a matter of equity, it is also essential to our nation's future. Thrive Scholars is helping build the diverse leadership our country needs, now more than ever. Thrive Scholars identifies high-achieving students of color from low-income families in their junior years of high school and provides the academic, social-emotional, and career development support they need to gain admission to top colleges and universities, to succeed once they get there, and then to move on to high-level careers. This year alone, 1,500 Thrive Scholars are participating in the program. A full 80% African American or Latino with an average family income of only $45,000. Thrive Scholars is transformational. It opens doors that would otherwise remain closed, launching talented young people into lives of economic mobility and professional leadership that would have been virtually impossible without the vision and the commitment of this remarkable organization. Your donation can be made either electronically or by the plate collection that will be passed. If you want to make an online payment, please visit the online giving page on our website. Once there, be sure that plate collection is selected from the drop-down menu. If you write a check, please remember to put Thrive Scholars on the memo line. Please give generously to Thrive Scholars to secure the future for some really exceptional young people and to help ensure more diverse leadership in our nation. Thank you.
We open our circle of care and concern this morning with these words from Beth Mulholland. In this new year, may we leave behind the weight of unfulfilled resolutions, of unrealized dreams, and of unrealistic expectations. May we unpack the heavy weight of stories that tell us we are unworthy and unlovable. May we remember that we each carry inside of us a spark of the divine. In this new year, may we carry kindness, gentleness, and hope that holds us through even the hardest days and the most daunting risks. May we carry the weight of memory that reminds us of who we are and the weight of spirit that reminds us we are still becoming. May we carry the seed of knowledge that teaches us that improvement and growth aren't linear and individualistic, but are cyclical and communal. May we carry the wisdom to seek rest and connection, to lean into mutual care. May we carry the certain belief that when we have patterns of thinking and behaving that harm ourselves or others, we can seek resources that will help us move towards healing. May we carry the knowledge that happiness and success takes many shapes, and one of those shapes is purpose. May we carry purpose lightly, trusting that it changes and evolves and surprises us. May we carry curiosity, wonder, and the ability to be surprised. This year, may we carry space for all of our flaws, all of our longings, and all of our love, remembering that the truly daring adventure of life is not to be better, best, but to show up wholly, authentically, lovingly as ourselves. May we carry these prayers and carry each other into the new year. Now I'd like to take a moment and reflect on these words in silence. And may it be so. Now I'd like to invite all who'd like to come forward and light a candle of intention. And if you're comfortable, please tell us the person or place this intention is for, and we will carry them in our hearts. Those in our online pews, you can type your joy or concern in the comment section, and we will also carry your intention in our hearts. So please come down the center aisle, light your candle, and return by the side aisle. So let us begin.
For Gabe Hirschfeld, his family and friends.
In memory of Joanne Halpin.
For a cousin who died unexpectedly and suddenly.
For my mother-in-law, Edith, who turned 95 yesterday.
We honor all of these intentions in this community. Along with these, we also know there are certain joys and sorrow that remain private and silent this hour. They too have a rightful place here. So this morning we honor all of these with light. We also light this candle for all those people who do not have a community like this in which to share their joys and sorrows. May this candle inspire us to use our powers to heal and not to harm, to help and not to hinder, to bless and not to curse. May its radiance pour out upon our hearts and spread light into the darkest corners of our world. Now please join in singing Comfort Me, number 1002 in the Teal hymnal, and we will sing the first verse.
The reading this morning is called The Resistance of a Dandelion Seed by Reverend Michelle Collins. There's a crack in the world where light finds its way through. Not wide, not welcoming, just enough. The seed arrives on wind, lands in darkness between stone and stone, and begins its work in secret. Roots press downward through grit and shadow, seeking moisture in places meant to be barren. They do not ask permission. They do not apologize for their hunger or their being. Slowly, the green crown pushes upward, meeting resistance at every fraction of an inch. The concrete does not yield willingly. It groans. It cracks infinitesimally, but the stem continues. What emerges is not delicate in the way we imagine delicacy. It is yellow and honest, opening its face to the sun despite the hardness all around. Cars pass, feet land nearby. The flower remains, making its small declaration that life persists even where it is told it cannot. That softness breaks what hardness cannot bend. That beauty grows not in spite of the cold and unrelenting pavement, but directly through it, transforming a barely visible crack into a doorway. When the blossom fades, it does not disappear. It transforms into a constellation of possibilities. Each seed carries the memory of stone splitting, the knowledge that what seems permanent can be challenged and broken through. The wind rustles, the next crack waits, the work continues in 1,000 directions at once, patient, and relentless.
Thank you, Susie. I can't tell you how many times over the past months that I've thought to myself, it can't get any worse. Then turn on the TV yesterday, and it just keeps going, and keeps going. So Susie reminded me earlier today that she believes I told this story before. I don't remember, but it's worth repeating again. A while back, during one of our staff meetings, I was asking Susie about a hymn I heard while I was at the gym that day, and I was wondering if she knew it and if it was something that we would be able to sing here in church. Susie looked at me through the Zoom screen and said, wait, you mean to tell me that you listen to hymns and sacred music when you're at the gym? And I told her, yes, I do. Sometimes it's peppy UU hymns, sometimes it's the King's College Choir. Whatever strikes me that day, it allows me to go to a place that feels bigger and greater than myself. Sacred music allows me to connect with the deepest part of myself, and it's one of my daily spiritual practices. One of the things that you all here at UU Wellesley do so well is social justice. We have LGBTQ plus task force, Bristol Lodge, Advocacy and Witness, Partners Church, Asylee and Refugee. The list goes on and on and on. We carry our signs, we hang our banners, we sing our songs, we make calls and send letters and postcards. We resist. We resist injustice. We resist inequality and discrimination. And what's even more impressive is that this congregation is deeply, deeply committed to changing the world, making the world a better place. Reverend Michelle Collins writes in her opening to worship, "Welcome, all who are restless for a world renewed. We come carried by ancestors who refused the silence of despair and dared to sing a new song. Their courage whispers through us still. Today we resist by showing up together. We resist by keeping faith with what is not yet. Our gathering is itself an act of sacred dissent, calling us to rise and unite as co-creators of a freer tomorrow." So I remember my first large-scale march, my first all-out resistance. It was 1992 or 93, and it was the AIDS March in Washington. After years and years of ignoring what was happening, our politicians ignoring the deaths and decimation of the LGBTQ community, the Black community, the drug-addicted community, the nation had finally had enough and woke up. I remember driving to DC from Boston and seeing scores and scores of cars with rainbow flags, pink-painted messages on back windows, all of us going in the same direction to finally resist. Getting off the subway in downtown DC and then tens of thousands of people marching in the street was quite honestly overwhelming. But there was also another sense that I had that day. What we were doing was sacred. It was holy. The AIDS memorial quilt was displayed on the ground across a very large section of the mall. People were kneeling next to panels, weeping at the enormity of these losses. If ever there was a holy present, it was then. Our third and fourth principle call us to accept one another and encourage spiritual growth, a free and responsible search for truth and meaning, our truth and our meaning, not anyone else's. Our shared value of justice tells us that we work to be diverse, multicultural, beloved communities where all feel welcomed and can thrive. But for so many of us, that search for truth and meaning that encourages spiritual growth can sometimes be elusive. We go about our daily lives doing the things that we need to do to survive without much thought about our spiritual development or growth. We ignore or perhaps don't recognize that often the things we are doing are our own personal spiritual practices, like me listening to hymns at the gym, or perhaps you shopping at Roach Brothers and getting lost somewhere in your head, or writing letters, or holding a sign or a banner. These sometimes banal actions can be as much a spiritual practice as meditating or worshiping on Sunday. As Unitarian Universalists, marching and protesting and resisting is such an important part of our faith tradition. We march against inequality. We protest segregation and discrimination because we believe in the inherent worth and dignity of all. We believe in the equality of all. And doing so allows us to connect with that deeper side of who we are. It allows us to peek into our souls. And resistance is one of the most profound spiritual practices we can participate in. We do it not only for our voices to be heard, but to live out who we say we are, both outwardly and deeply inwardly. It is the holy, most sacred part of ourselves saying, "This is wrong. This is evil." But resistance can also be exhausting. And these days, we have a lot to resist. That's why it is so crucial to rest, to regroup. It's critical to name your Sabbath and keep it holy. When you feel yourself weary and tired, stop and rest. In the book of Genesis, chapter 2, verses 2 to 3, the author tells us that God rests on the seventh day after creation, blesses it, and makes it holy. Anna Levy-Lyons writes, "The goal of the Sabbath practice is not to patch us up and send us back out into the violent secular world, but to represent in the new what redemption looks like, what justice looks like, what a compassionate social order looks like. It is to reconstruct the rest of time from the viewpoint of the Sabbath as unjust and untenable. A truly egalitarian Sabbath that lifts up a holy vision of the world to come, performs deeply political work. It builds an outside to the current world. The self that emerges from such a Sabbath and re-enters a week is the changed self, a newly radicalized self who can no longer tolerate injustice." So remember the importance of your Sabbath. Keep it and keep it holy. Which brings me back here to UU Wellesley Hills and to all of you. Our world, and especially our nation right now, seems so dark and so ugly. Again and again, when it can't get any worse, it does. The ICE raids, the masked and unidentified men disappearing people from the streets, the boat strikes, the incompetency, the lies, and the grifting. Add to this list, as of yesterday, now kidnapping. But you know what? Resistance is working. There are definite cracks appearing, largely as a result of people coming out of their homes and saying, "We will not tolerate this." And there are signs that the leaders or politicians are finally waking up to what real resistance looks like and what it might mean for their futures. I have very little faith in most of our leaders, but I do have unwavering faith in folks like you, folks that are stepping out, perhaps stepping out of your comfort zones and fighting. People of all colors and all sizes, all faith traditions, joining together in their spiritual practice of resistance. So the next time you march, the next time you write a postcard or make a call, remember that you are doing the holy work, the sacred work of resistance. The truth is coming from the bottom of your toes and is embedded in who we are as Unitarian Universalists. This is spiritual practice to its core. In his article, One Drop at a Time, Reverend Cameron Kimball writes, "It's easy to become paralyzed by the scale of the world's needs, but we don't have to fix everything to be faithful. we are each called to offer what we can, to take our drop of water and carry it towards the fire. Or as the Dalai Lama puts it, if you think you are too small to make a difference, try sleeping with a mosquito. So as we continue to struggle, to march, to resist, may we honor this spiritual practice deeply rooted in who we are. May our signs be colorful and pithy, and our resolve remain strong. We are the ones we've been waiting for. And may we make it so this morning. Now please rise in body and or spirit as you are able as we sing our closing hymn, number 1007 in the Teal hymnal, There's a River Flowing in My Soul, number 1007. And I invite choir members up front to lead us in song.
Now that our celebration is concluding this morning, we extinguish our chalice. Our closing words are spoken in unison. You will find them printed in your order of service or appearing on your screen. Extinguishing this flame, which has burned bright in our midst, we revere what has been kindled within each one of us. Warmth and community, the light of truth, a perpetual spark of hope.
Let our lives be like a prayer that waters dry souls, mends broken hearts, refuses to be terrorized, seeks this world's beauty, and carries us through its storms. Our service has ended. Go in peace and return again with great joy.